Hey everybody, it's Eugene Driscoll of valleyindy.org. Welcome to a little mini episode of Navel Gazing the Valley Indies podcast. Today is Wednesday, January 9th, and this episode features Sheila O'Malley, the Economic Development Director and grant writer for the city of Ansonia. We talk about the city receiving a $39,000 grant that is to be used to study exactly which route the city will take to extend their river walk to the town of Seymour. And we go into why this, because I know on Facebook when I posted a press release from Deep about this on Tuesday, January 8th, a couple of people said it's a waste of money and why do they need to do this and study. But Sheila gets into that in the interview because, hey, I take your questions. What do I know? I take your questions and pose them directly to the people who have the answers. But first, a word from our sponsor. This podcast is sponsored by valleygivesback.org. What will you be remembered for? Name a Valley nonprofit in your estate plan and create a legacy that tells future generations what mattered to you. Making a gift that costs nothing during your lifetime is easy and revocable if things change. With a planned gift, you have the power to impact the Valley forever without affecting your current lifestyle. Your action inspires others to make a difference in their own way. Remember the Valley. Ask your accountant, financial planner, or attorney about planned giving options. Plan now. Give later. Impact tomorrow. Learn more at valleygivesback.org. Welcome to the podcast, Sheila O'Malley, the Economic Development Director and grants writer for the city of Ansonia. Hello, Sheila.
Hello, Eugene Driscoll. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Yeah, no problem.
How are you?
I am great, or at least I'm hiding it well. So the city of Ansonia, yesterday, State Department of Environmental and Energy Protection announced through a press release that the city is in receipt of a $39,000 grant to be used in connection to the city's growing river walk. That's correct, right? I got that part right.
That is correct. Yes, we did receive an award letter yesterday, which, comparatively speaking, doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it's kind of a vital grant because we want to take that next step. We want to see how we can connect with Seymour to the north.
And this thing is actually called a route study, basically what the money is going to be used for. And, of course, you can explain it a lot more carefully than I can. But from my understanding is that you're going to take this grant money and figure out the best way to connect Ansonia's trail to the town of Seymour, one town to the north. Is that basically what's happening?
Right. That's exactly what we're going to do. When the federal government began this Rails to Trails program, the idea was to link communities or like communities together. So the idea is to link our trail all along the Naugatuck River with the communities that border the river.
So you're talking, and I saw this on the Naugatuck Valley Council of Governments site. Basically, the long-term plan is to have you'll be able to get on a trail in Shelton and go all the way to Torrington one day, hopefully.
Hopefully, that's the plan, right? Or will be the plan.
And right now, you can get on the trail at the Derby-Shelton Bridge, essentially, walk through from downtown Derby to Division Street on the border of Ansonia, cross Division Street, and get on Ansonia's sort of new trail, go all the way to Pershing Drive, where a pedestrian bridge was installed last year, right?
Correct. That was segment 8. Our map is it's sectioned out, and it was approved, and it's basically a loop that connects Derby and eventually will connect Seymour. But you're right, we completed the pedestrian bridge, which puts everyone out on Pershing Drive, and it's at Pershing and Clifton where we're going to begin the next segment, if you will, or study for the next segment
to figure out where the segment should go specifically to get up to Seymour.
Correct.
And how does the money get spent? who does the money go to? Like, what company or who specializes in trying to figure out where to put the trail? And then how do you deal with all in bureaucratic speak, they call them stakeholders, but the human beings who live and work along the trail, whose job is it to figure all that stuff out?
Yeah, well, I mean, typically a design for a river walk will go out to bid. Our past segments had already been out to bid, and DeCarlo and Dow was the successful bidder, and they had designed all the segments. They're currently completing the final design on segments 3 and 4, but we'll have to go out to bid for this study money because it's a brand new grant, and we'll need to go out to bid. The engineers will deal with any rights of way issues, although I'm not so sure there's going to be any issues to be dealt with on this go around. But that's typically the engineer's job to make sure all of that is done properly, and the city's job as well to oversee rights of way issues and any land takings or anything having to do with residents.
And then why is a study needed if the city presumably already has a good idea where this trail should go? Why the money to study it? Because people hate reading money for studies. That's sort of there's that initial reaction like, no, not another study that's going to gather dust in the basement of City Hall or be used to.
I know, but sometimes in the grant world, without a study, you're not going to get any more construction dollars. So they want to see that you've got this thing planned out, that you've got it ready to go, that it can get in the hands of an engineer and they can design the rest of the trail. So a study just tells you, yes, this is the best possible route, and yes, this is a great idea, and yes, this is going to be within the guidelines of the rec trail program.
So it's sort of a check and balance where this money comes down from either the state or the federal government, and then they go, you have to do this study, so we're not just gambling away our money, and you guys are going to use it, for new tires or new rims on like the mayor's SUV or something like that, right?
Right. The mayor's gold Mercedes, you mean?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
But it can
right.
So it can be frustrating for people though, but this is sort of, and the way these things come together, all these trails come together. It's this process that you have to basically follow step by step and jump through these hoops. And how do you've gotten over the years? I mean, we've been around since 2009, and I think you personally have probably applied and received, what, like $1 million worth of this? I mean, continuing your work in Derby and Ansonia, or what's the key? How do you snag these grants?
Probably over that. I mean, I get, it's key to have a good, well, first of all, I want to thank Rick Dunn and Aaron Boudris from the Naugatuck Valley Council of Governments. And it's key to have good engineers that can advise you, that can help you put these plans together. So I don't do it alone, but yeah, I think probably over $1 million in grant funds. And I won't talk about Waterbury because
no, we don't want to hear about Waterbury.
Okay, we did get a lot of money for Waterbury as well, but. But yeah, that's it. I mean, it's a bunch of people, and it's staying in close contact with the State Department of Transportation and Department of Energy and Environmental Protection.
And then in the overall picture here, in terms of economic development, why does the government think these trails are a good idea? What benefit are these trails to the public? So why is it worth spending this money on this effort?
Because it's a way of attracting people into your community. It's a way of, it demonstrates you're a healthy community. You're concerned about your residents. You want recreational opportunities for them. And there's a cross between economic and community development. One boosts or bolsters the other. So if people are coming in to use your trail, they're passing through your city, They may stop. They may eat something in your restaurants. I mean, it's a way to draw people into your community and to connect communities, which we desperately need to do.
And then
in Connecticut.
Looking forward, this study will be completed by the end of the year. Is that what I read?
Correct. It should be completed, and it'll probably be completed within 6 months or less.
And then what's the next step after that?
And then the next step after that is working, the mayor and I will be working on trying to secure additional funding for that next segment.
And then
we already have, sorry.
No, I was going to ask you. You started to answer it. Well, do you have grant money that you've already received that you haven't used yet to extend the trail? And if so, what's the next part of the Ansonia Riverwalk that'll be built?
Right. The next part, and we don't have a map to show everyone, but the next segment is 3 and 4, which essentially runs along the Target piece.
Okay.
And connects the loop. Which is hard to describe on a podcast, but it essentially makes a circle for our residents. So they're either going to head, they'll start in Derby or Shelton, and then loop around Ansonia, and then head out to Seymour. That's the plan.
And then do you have any, so you have that money already in hand, did you say?
We do. That's federal money. That's Bridgeport Metropolitan Planning Organization money, and it's state money. So the combination of funding sources.
And when do you think construction could begin on that piece of the Ansonia Riverwalk?
Well, they're going ahead with final design. Our engineers are going ahead with final design. So I'm thinking the spring will be out to bid and ready to go.
Okay, ideally, and that's always subject to
ideally
whatever way the wind is blowing. Oh, and then my final question: with the $39,000 grant you got for the study to figure out how to connect to Seymour, does the city have to kick in any money for that?
There is a match, and I'm clarifying whether that's an in-kind, but it would probably be about 10%.
Okay, and you're still working that out.
Yeah, we're working that out. May possibly be in kind, but I have to check with Deep.
Okay, so this has been a 12-minute interview because I know you have a busy day, so I want to thank you for taking the time. But as I let you go, any new businesses opening in Ansonia? People love to hear about new restaurants and all that sort of thing. Did you announce anything at last night's Board of Aldermen meeting?
Yeah, the mayor announced, and I'm probably going to butcher the name, Shafrigo, which is opening up on Main Street, and he teased a little bit about a new burger and pizza and kind of a pub type place coming up.
Where's that going?
That you will hear about. That is going where Thigh High used to be.
Oh, okay. So these are two Main Street eateries in the pipeline.
They are.
One with the ribbon cutting scheduled
are.
For I think the end of this month or in a couple of weeks.
Correct.
And the other, I guess, coming soon.
Coming soon, Eugene.
All right.
That's all I can say.
Yeah. All right, I hear you.
Good thing the interview is over.
Yeah, right. That's it. You got to go. I want to thank you again for taking the time. No notice. You just came on and did this, so I really appreciate it.
No problem. Happy to do so. Thanks.
All right. Have a great day.